What is up guys, this is Zishan with EmZeeAy, and today we're going to be comparing the Galaxy Z Fold models with the Microsoft Surface Duo. I've done all the research to make your purchase decision a bit easier. So Samsung unveiled the Galaxy Z Fold 2 model last month in their Unpacked event. Microsoft wasn't so far behind. They unveiled their Microsoft Surface Duo a few days later. Galaxy then did a special Unpacked 2.0 event focused solely on the Galaxy Z Fold 2. So first things first, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 costs $1999 in the US and is available for pre-order right now and ships out on September 18. It comes in just two colors, that's the Mystic Black and the Mystic Bronze, but you're able to customize the hinge choosing between 4 different colors to make the phone your own. Of course, before we jump into the specs of the Galaxy Z Fold 2, the first question we need to answer is this better than the last one? Now don't get me wrong, the Galaxy Z Fold was a game changer. It showed the world what a foldable can truly be. That doesn't mean that it didn't come without its issues. If you remember Screen Gate, when you could accidentally take off the protective layer and that would render the screen completely useless. Now Samsung did quickly adapt and fix that problem and relaunch the phone, but the cover display was so small that you ended up using the phone in tablet mode most of the time. The screen of the first version was also really sensitive and could be damaged easily. It also had a problem with a lot of gap in the screen and the hinge, so dust could easily get in and it would never get out. That resulted in a grinding noise every time you used the phone. And finally, the hinge was only supposed to completely open or completely close the Galaxy Z Fold, and that left a lot of viewing options in between. So the good news is that the Galaxy Z Fold 2 has fixed all these problems. The first noticeable difference is that the cover display is now full screen with very thin bezels, and it comes with AMOLED display. This means that you can perform most functions without having to open your phone at all. Inside you get a beautiful 7.6-inch AMOLED display that houses a 120Hz refresh rate, and the refresh rate is dynamic, so it switches between 11 and 120Hz depending on the usage requirements. So the interior screen has been updated as well. Most noticeably, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 now uses a UTG, the ultra thin glass that Samsung unveiled with its Z Flip. It appears to be much more durable than the plastic screen that the Z Fold originally had. They've also added a built-in screen protector. The other noticeable upgrade is the camera notch inside is completely gone. It's been replaced by the Infinity O display. Samsung's also made the hinge so much better. It's more rigid now and it can stop at any point. So you're able to use the Samsung Z Fold 2 in multiple viewing options. They've also installed tiny brushes inside the hinge to keep all the debris and dust out. Samsung's also worked on seamless screen-to-screen transition that lets you carry on your work from the cover display to inside and back to the cover display without any lag. In terms of tech specs, the Z Fold 2 is a powerhouse. It houses Snapdragon 865, comes at 256 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM. It supports wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and has a 4500 mAh battery. It also comes with a conveniently placed fingerprint sensor on the side that lets you unlock the phone both on the cover display and inside. The Z Fold 2 has really nice sounding stereo speakers on each end that lets you completely immerse yourself in the media you're watching. Now let's talk about the camera. It comes with 5 lenses, a 10 megapixel lens on the cover display and a 10 megapixel inside, and 3 12 megapixel lenses on the back of the phone. That means it has ultra wide, wide, and telephoto lens. You can now use the high-res back camera for taking selfies by using the cover display as a viewfinder. You can also use both screens at the same time, letting everyone know if they're in shot. In terms of usability with the form factor, a lot of apps have been optimized by Samsung. Samsung Fold 2 also has the multi-active feature in the apps. You can use up 3 apps at the same time. They've also brought their version of Microsoft app groups. They're calling it the app pair. Samsung's partnership with Google has allowed them to optimize a ton of apps for this new form factor, especially when the phone is in laptop mode. Interestingly enough, the Z Fold 2 is also optimized for Microsoft apps, so this lets you be productive on the go. Samsung also announced the Z Premier service with the Z Fold 2. It's more like a concierge service They're also offering a one-time screen replacement within 1 year for the Z Fold 2. Let's compare the Z Fold 2 to the Microsoft Surface Duo. The Surface Duo starts off at $14.99. It comes with just one color, that's the Glacier, and it's available for pre-order now, ships out September 10th. Microsoft's first attempt at a foldable comes with a unique twist. It's not one foldable display, rather two 5.6-inch screens connected by a hinge. The hinge is 360 degrees, which allows for multiple viewing options. The total screen size is 8.1 inches, AMOLED display with over 400 pixels per inch. Unlike the Z Fold 2, Microsoft Surface Duo uses Gorilla Glass on its screens. The Surface Duo has Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM, and up to 256 GB of storage. It's only available in LTE and does not support 5G yet. I'm sure you must have seen other reviewers unbox the Surface Duo. You must also have heard that they're only allowed to unbox it and they're not allowed to switch it on until September 10th. It's supposed to be a hardware review only. Now my question is, why would Microsoft limit reviewers just to the hardware? I came up with two reasons. One, I think they really want to show how beautiful and how thin the phone is. They also want to showcase the 360-degree hinge. And two, as soon as you turn the phone on, that's when you start to notice all the things that are wrong with the phone. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The specs on the Surface Duo are really disappointing. Microsoft is a juggernaut. If they wanted, they could have made the best possible phone out there. They certainly have the capability, the capacity, and the experience, but they launched a phone with last year's chipset and only 6 gigs of RAM. For a phone that's geared towards multitasking, is going to result in an extremely frustrating experience with the limited RAM. I predict a lot of lag and a lot of headaches. Surface Duo has 2 batteries, one on each screen, with a total capacity of 3577 mAh. This too is considerably less than the Z Fold 2 with its 4500 mAh battery. Despite this, Microsoft is promising that the Surface Duo is going to have an all-day battery life. The Surface Duo also doesn't support wireless charging. Another major source of disappointment in the Surface Duo is the camera. They only put one lens in, and that too just 10 megapixels on the inside. There's no back-facing camera, so if you want to take a selfie, you have to flip the screen around. They claim that it can take portrait mode photos as well, but without a dedicated lens, I'm sure it limits the capacity and capability of what they can achieve. And the price point of $14.99, they're competing with Samsung Note 20 Ultra and the flagship iPhone models, both of which are able to take amazing photos. I'm sure Microsoft could have added another lens on the back of the phone without compromising the overall look that they were going for. As far as media viewing goes, I'm sure no one in their right mind is going to use both screens to view media with that big gap in the middle. And no one is going to want to take pictures from the Microsoft Surface Duo unless they absolutely have to. Now, Microsoft's partnership with Google will of course result in tons of apps being optimized for this form factor. Being a Windows device, all the Microsoft apps are also optimized for their unique form factor. Microsoft also promoted app groups, that's opening 2 apps at once with the click of a button, a feature quickly replicated by Samsung. Like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 supports the S Pen, Microsoft Surface Duo supports the Surface Pen and can be attached to the phone magnetically on the back. Of course, both phones have their advantages. The Surface Duo looks clean, it's razor thin, and this 360-degree hinge looks really useful. But this being Samsung's 3rd generation of the foldable means they've had more experience than anyone else in the market in this form factor. They fixed all the problems from the previous versions and they've made an amazing phone in 2020, which they can proudly call their flagship. Is worth every cent of the premium price point of $2,000. Microsoft is focused solely on the hardware and productivity features, but they left so much out on the table by putting in last year's chipset and only 6 gigs of RAM that limits the amount of productivity you can do and the amount of multitasking you can do with the Surface Duo. In my opinion, you can't really use it for media consumption because of the gap in the 2 screens. And of course, with its limited camera lens, you can't expect beautiful photos. In my opinion, it's not currently worth the premium price point of $1,500 that they're asking for. So if you're looking for a foldable that you can push to the limit, you can immerse yourself in the media and take beautiful photos while still being able to be productive, go for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. But if you're solely focused on productivity, maybe you like the 360-degree hinge and you prefer 2 screens instead of 1, then go for the Surface Duo. But next year, once they've fixed all the problems from the first generation phone, improved on it, and actually made it work as advertised, a phone which has better specs, higher refresh rate, better camera, more gigs of RAM, and a latest chipset, a phone that you'll actually be able to completely multitask on, that's the Surface Duo that I can recommend. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if this video was helpful for you. Let me know which form factor you liked more, and if this helped in making your purchase decision. This was Zishan with EmZeeAy, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.